We're in April of this year, and I'm not expecting too many good, like, banger movies in theaters because we've learned in past years that any early release films are going to be completely snubbed by the award season. Think about Challengers and Dune Part 2, which honestly should have taken away way more awards than it has. So we know now that these big swinger type movies are going to be later in the year, making these January, February, March releases less so. But here's the thing about horror. Horror don't give a fuck. Horror has its own cult, subgenre, worshipping following. They do what they want. Horror is the one thing where it may not be good, but you can count on them all year long to be just consistently putting movies out. So here are 5 of the horror films that came out this year. Some of my hot takes behind them. Going in order from least impressive to most fun, we have Hell of a Summer in 5th place. Now look, I love to see young filmmakers doing their thing. They were a bunch of friends who made a movie. I love that. I want you to keep working and make better movies. It didn't help that I was described this movie as basically bodies in the Gen Z type humor, when this movie was not funny. The only funny person in this movie was Billy, except for that one line about giving head to the entirety of Spider-Man.
Does head mean anything to you? She blew you? What? No, I blew her.
That was awesome. But otherwise, like, it was just kind of there. And it's crazy to me that this is a rated R camp slasher. And yeah, most of the kills are off screen. So we're going for slasher horror comedy in a movie that's not scary or funny. It's something. Moving on to number 4, Heart Eyes. This movie is so bland that I forgot I watched it, and I watched it last month. The epitome of this movie is the "he's right behind me, isn't he?" for the entirety. That's it.
Your jokes are cheesy as
The writing was just so mediocre and formulaic. I think you're really supposed to root for the main couple as they're falling in love, but the guy was just so condescending. No matter how cute he was, it was just annoying the hell out of me. I will forget about this movie once again when I stop filming this video. 3rd place, we have Presents. Now, this is the point where you're gonna think, hey, Newt, are you a hater? And to that I say, no, I promise I'm not a hater. But this movie, y'all hyped up so much. People were giving it 4 stars. I was like, whoa, I gotta watch this thing. And I get the appeal. Right? I love the POV-ness of it. Like, you're literally the ghost. And that is such a cool thing I haven't seen before, and I want to explore it more. It is awesome. It has so much potential. And yet it was a swing and a miss because the rest of the story, the rest of the writing, there was nothing unique about it. I will say this will teach you not to trust white boys, and it will also teach you to stop being such a boy mom. Your son was bullying a girl. Why are you egging him on? That's just my soapbox for this movie. But anyway, all right, 2nd place. This is proof that I'm not a hater. The Woman in the Yard. What a surprise. Because this is a Blumhouse movie. Blumhouse has been interesting lately with their films. And the movie is just so aptly titled. I was not expecting much. The beginning of my Letterboxd review literally says, now hold on. Now hold on, because I was just so excited. Look, we have definitely exhausted the whole horror is about your family trauma and the secret bad thing is actually your own feelings and yourself. I get it. I've seen it before. But they do it, and they do it well. I think what really sold me on it was the camera work here. It was so fast-paced and whipping and just so interesting. And additionally, the use of shadows, like the literal Nosferatu-ness where the shadow came up and that's like what was gonna kill you. And then also the shadow use and the big reveal of like the monster, and then you see the shadows behind it, quick spoiler warning, and you see the braids of the mom like flying around as she's fighting, and that's how you kind of realize these are the same person. That was so fun. Somebody write that down and put that in future movies. I could have easily gone 3 stars on this, but this one charmed me, okay? 3.5. We're going a solid 3.5. And in 1st place, finally, some good fucking food. The Monkey. I get why this is controversial. I get why some people aren't a fan of this one. Because honestly, what does it do other than spend the entire runtime just giving you ridiculous kills? Not much, but it's so funny.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yes, we have a literal evil twin plotline, and it really loses steam. But my god, this just has a je ne sais quoi that not every filmmaker can create. Oz Perkins, you're charming me here. I loved Longlegs. I love the monkey. Side note, I knew he was an actor, and I remembered he was in some like really famous thing as like a really minor character. But this whole time I'm thinking he was definitely in Drake and Josh. He was definitely in iCarly. He was in some kind of Nickelodeon thing and nothing was coming up. And I was convinced I was right and the internet was wrong. Nope, I was just confusing his Legally Blonde character with that really sweaty doorman from iCarly. Unrelated, but that took me like half an hour to figure out. Back to the point. This is the kind of movie that's gonna be a cult classic. It's the kind of movie I'm gonna own on DVD and I'm gonna shout from the rooftops about how much I love this thing. Especially when you look at Oz Perkins and he talks about his family had a lot of really disastrous deaths. And he mentions how if he made the movie 20 years ago, it would have been sad. And it's at the point where if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. That sense of ridiculousness, the sense of reality, the sense of death is happening no matter what. So like, we should just embrace it. That's cool. So those are my 5. Still haven't seen Companion, sorry guys. It's on my list, but let me know what you guys thought about these movies. And please tell me if you disagree with everything I said. I'd love to hear it. And I'll see you guys next time.